Hey, you got Steve Matney here of the Plain Donuts, your co-host. I hope you're ready for some controversy in this one, because it's mild to moderate. Enjoy the show.
Boom.
5 seconds of silence are over and we are ready to start.
Hey!
We've been doing like lots of sing-songy type things before we've started the show.
Oh no! Sorry. I just read something on our on our Facebook posts. Yeah. What?
Oh geez. Okay.
What were you saying?
Oh, I just was saying we've been kind of sing-songy in our openings with.
We have
podcast.
been a little bit. Yeah.
We're just so filled with joy and happiness.
We're just the nicest, happiest.
We're the Febreze-iest
Welcome
podcast.
to the Febreze of podcasts.
We are the air freshener of podcasts. Here to freshen up your day.
That's right. Here we are.
We're here.
Human air fresheners.
Hey, if it's your first time here with
Welcome.
the Human Air Freshener podcast, we are not called that, but we are called the Plain Donuts
Welcome
podcast.
to Plain Donuts. I am your co-host, Steve.
And I'm your other co-host, Alicia, and we're based in Random City, Utah.
Random city it is.
Look it up.
Greater Salt Lake area.
GSA.
GSLA.
GSLA.
That's right.
LGBTQ. I'm sorry.
Can we... hold on. I think, and I'm sorry if you're like A, but the acronym is way too long at this point.
It's really long.
Like, and I know, like, the A people are going to be like, I'm part of that crew. And I'm like, I know. You're covered in the Q section. That is an umbrella of gender things.
Gender things.
And sexual things. But I shouldn't say that stuff, because then I have friends who are going to be like, no, Steve, the Q doesn't cover all of it. And I'm like, but then what is the Q for?
And I won't really comment, because that's not my area to comment in.
What? You can't talk about words? Anyways, I'm sorry. I've just was trying to think of something like edgy to talk
We're
about.
So controversial here at Plain Donuts podcast.
Yeah,
of dead air.
The edgy thing that I wanted to talk about was asexuality, I guess.
I guess so.
Which is sort of like the least edgy of the whole acronym, right? Like,
I don't know.
It's LGBTQIA, right?
QIA.
What's the I?
I don't know. I'm sorry, everybody.
Ooh.
I should know. Oh, sorry. Oh, we started off.
You are the worst millennial. So,
geez.
I don't remember what the I is either, honestly. Let's see. I forgot. Let's just look it up. But seriously, it's so long.
It's really long.
Like, LGBTQ is, like, enough. But anyway, LGBTQIA.
It's QIA and then plus, right?
Oh, right. The plus is supposed to cover the rest.
Everything else.
What is, I is
intersex. Okay. All right.
What is intersex?
I will let you look that up on yourself by yourself.
Hey, Siri.
Oh, jeez.
I'm listening.
What is intersex?
Let me think. Here's what I found.
Oh.
Take a look.
One having both male and female sexual characteristics and organs. At birth, an unambiguous assignment of male or female cannot be made. So intersex is literally like...
You have
like
both things.
Like you literally are born and they cannot like define your gender?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't understand. Never mind. Forget this whole conversation.
We started off on kind of
I'm really
weird.
sorry about this. You said it. You said LGBT.
I did. I started it. GSL LGBTQ. Sorry.
GSLA LGBTQIA
plus.
plus. The plus covers the rest of us. Plus for the rest of us. So anyway.
Yeah. How's this? We should go to our normal format.
I'm just saying, like if you had a podcast whose topic was LGBTQIA+, like, most of your podcast would be saying what it was about. Like, you would just have a lot of time spent announcing letters. It just seems like okay, so is it like, it seems like a lot of people are just generally okay, and see, I'm not in this world, so I'm really sorry. I only know white people. No, I'm just kidding.
Steve is cis white male. He only knows cis white male.
That's
things.
right. I only know.
I should say heterosexual cis white.
Heterosexual
he
cis
checks out for
white male and no other race. Just kidding.
He doesn't check any other boxes.
I actually am like a 16th Native American, and
I'm sure you are, Steve.
No, I really am. My great grandpa was like married to like a Native American lady. This is real stuff. That's why my skin turns red in the sun instead of tan.
No, turning red in the sun is the white man's curse for all their transgressions.
No, I don't mean, like, my skin gets like a darker red than it does like a tan color. And it doesn't sunburn as much as it does just turn reddish.
Well, the only way to solve this problem...
I'm just trying to make myself a little more inclusive. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay.
Steve is flustered. So we have to solve this by doing that 23andMe test where we spit in the tubes.
I really want to.
And find out if you are truly...
a 16th Native American. Watch it be exactly... what's 1 divided by 16? What is the exact ratio?
I don't know, actually. That's a good question.
Ask my 1 divided by 16 equals 0.0625.
Yeah. Do you think that would even show up on that test? It probably would at least, though, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
they definitely, like... Your DNA has all the things.
I really want you to have, like, 2% sub-Saharan, like, Africa.
Wouldn't it be cool?
That'd be...
Like, there is actual speculation that somewhere back in my family line we have, like some kind of African descent or maybe, like, African American. But I don't know why. But, there are people, like, actually... They're, like... You know, there are matinees... in like the eastern southern states that are like black people, and I'm like, oh really? That's cool. That'd be pretty neat to be like somewhat part of a race that's... See, the thing is like I can say neat, and that just shows how like cis white straight male I am, because I'm like, oh, it would be neat to be partially black, and like black people are like, yeah, it's really cool, man.
It's
like
really
systematic oppression rules, doc. And I see the way I said that sounded racist, but that's just the way I talk normally. And in this situation, it sounded...
Wow, Steve, you're peaking.
I know.
You're peaking already.
I'm just saying it's really hard to, like, want to be cool, but also not, like, call a racist on the internet. My wife is, like, mostly Mexican. Is that enough? Is that enough to not be a racist?
Probably not, but
dang
sorry,
it.
Steve.
Shoot.
Gosh, incarnation. Oh, wow. Whew. We covered everything.
I'm so sorry.
Controversial topics.
Are we ready to just label me a Nazi now? Is that...
Yeah.
Is it time?
Just go ahead and start working for Breitbart, Steve, already.
Well, there's an opening because Milo left.
Oh, I hate that guy.
I hate all Greek gay men. I'm just joking. I'm just...
Steve.
I'm kidding.
I don't want to get hate
kidding.
mail.
I'm about to get all... I feel like all the hate mail is just going to flood into my inbox. Like, this will be the one episode that for some reason gets downloaded like 3,000 times, which for some people is not a big number, but for us would be like,
oh, yeah, that's too much.
So anyway, like that many times, and then all of the people that are downloading it are going to be like, did I just download a racists podcast? Is this guy in the KKK? No, like I'm very accepting, and it's very hard to be accepting, and also like not tiptoe around everything. I don't want to walk on eggshells my whole life, but I kind of do too.
He's taking a drink now.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. Alicia's like, I'm not touching this.
I'm gonna let Steve go on this one.
If
I'm gonna distance myself from him a little bit.
I see this hole like getting consistently deeper, and maybe I should just stay over here.
I'm gonna start filling the hole in by saying this is a comedy podcast, and we have a lot of fun here.
Oh, jeez. I just don't know what to do with myself in my life.
Because of that, you don't get to talk about your week. Punishments.
Fine. Fine.
All right.
I'm leaving. I am leaving the podcast.
Steve is walking away now. Our producer is looking very concerned.
He's over there with headphones on, watching something else.
Watching a YouTube video.
Although he is working the producer job today.
He is.
He's like getting us.
Really is.
He's getting us some hookups.
He got us a guest. I won't say anything yet.
Yeah.
That's a cool guest.
We have to confirm. About. Speaking of guests,
we have a guest coming up next.
Corinne next week.
Yes.
Yeah. Corinne Larinaga. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. I very much apologize for just nearly belching right here on the podcast. No, she's an author, and her first novel is being published by Immortal Works, which is a local small press publisher. They're really cool. And I've been reading it. So far, it's good.
Cool.
She's a really good writer.
I think I said this to you before, but I wanted to read it like a day or so before, so I would have it fresh in my mind.
So because it was kind of a thing where, like, because we're having her on the podcast and because we said sure we'll review it, they gave us an advanced reference,
which is so cool. I felt really cool getting that. I was like, oh, we're so neat.
Advanced reviewer copy. ARC is what I remembered. ARC. It's an ARC. But anyway, it's a really good book so far.
I'm feeling pretty cool with all the guests that we're having. I don't know. I feel like we have a really good diversity and background of all of our guests, and what they do and what they're bringing. So I'm really excited about it.
I am too. I like it a lot. It's pretty fun. I invited a very large YouTuber to be on the podcast.
Yeah. Actually, Steve did invite a large, not because usually when we say huge guest, we mean like 10,000-ish followers, which is to us a huge number. Yeah. So.
But this person that I don't know them. They happen to live near me, and I found out because I have a friend who's neighbors with them, and I was like, oh, cool. Maybe I'll like just send them a message and be like, apparently I live close. Yeah. Come be on my podcast if you like it. And if you don't, that's okay. But they have like nearly 1 million subscribers on YouTube.
It's so crazy.
So, it'd be nuts.
That'd be nuts.
But anyway, it doesn't really, like, whatever. I'm just trying to get some of that podcast money.
Podcast money.
You know, people get really, really rich off podcasts.
Super rich.
Every podcast person.
They just roll in the money. In fact, we
are rolling right now. This podcast sponsored by Van Dyke Cigars.
Which is a discontinued cigar brand. Just kidding. I actually don't even think is it a cigar brand?
I think so. It's a cigar box.
All right,
anyway.
From the 40s.
We're sponsored by someone who we don't know what they do at all. And they didn't give us any copy for their commercials.
We're really great sponsorship type people.
It's Van Dyke, I believe, but it's spelled D-Y-C-K.
Van Dyck.
And I'm just like, are these Van Dyck cigars? Like,
that's a very masculine name, right?
Well, and they're cigars.
Yeah. So it's just scream. The box is just screaming masculine. Mm-hmm. It's literally opening its mouth.
Anyway, wow.
This is getting weird.
Whatever.
It's a weird episode.
I'm so sorry, guys. It's begun. The episode has begun, and we shouldn't dilly-dally because we
have so many questions.
So many questions.
Maybe we'll just skip to the questions. At least I think.
Well, do you have anything to say about your week before we get did anything interesting happen?
Interesting I feel like nothing interesting has happened to me in a long time.
Why not?
I don't know.
Make something happen.
I need something in my life to be interesting. I feel like Otto has an interesting life. He hangs out with interesting people and does cool things.
That's your husband. You could just go do stuff with him.
That's weird. I'm not him. All right. I live my own life.
She's her own person.
I'm my own person.
That's cool. That's fine. It's totally fine.
It's cool.
My last week was a little bit weird for me. and we don't have to go very deep into it because there's nothing to go very deep into, but like I like woke up every morning just like feeling depressed for some reason, and I was like, I don't want to do life. Like, not that I wanted to, I just didn't want to do the day or whatever. And so this week so far has been much better. I think I was kind of like just tired, and I've been feeling like I was like sort of feeling sick for a long time, but that's, I think, starting to ebb away. So, ebb? Is ebb rising? Ebb and flow.
Ebb and flow. Ebb is receding, I think, right?
I think so. Anyway, we're going to get really pedantic about ebb and flow right now. Do you guys like words? This is a podcast about words and acronyms.
We're really... The movement of the tide out to sea. So it is retreating, subsiding, receding, falling away, going out, coming back. I wish we had a physical thesaurus here. I feel like you would find a lot of joy in that. I love thesaurus. I love it. I think I was recently reading out of a thesaurus, because when someone's trying to like explain a word and they don't know it, I like instantly pull up like what they're trying to describe and start just reading random words. I love doing that, and I'm sure everyone hates me for it, but I like it. So hashtag deal with it.
Nice. Hashtag that's my kink.
That's my kink is a thesaurus.
She's come here, Otto, bring the thesaurus. After smoking like 3 packs of cigarettes, apparently.
Yes, apparently.
And then Otto's like, I'm coming!
And he is Henry VIII. That's a callback for sure. That's a long
to like episode 2.
Yeah, that's a long
Somebody
callback.
was saying recently, like, that they missed Henry VIII or something, and another person was like, I just heard the Henry VIII part, and I was like, wait, did we miss an opportunity to have a recurring character?
Yeah.
So I'm slowly gonna start just introducing him back.
Introducing Henry
I mean,
VIII.
Henry VIII is a guy who you don't want to have too much of, because he'll dehead you.
Yeah. Behead you?
He will dehead you.
Okay, so English is kind of weird, right? So would dehead, even though it's probably not a word, would that technically be also a correct...
I think so.
To, like, I mean, dethrone,
It wouldn't be uncorrect.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We need to break out the sword.
Whoa! We're really good at words here. We understand prefixes.
We're so clever. We're a comedy podcast.
Okay, so do you have the Plain Donuts page pulled up?
I do. And we got a couple questions from friend/coworker Alicia.
Oh yeah, she recently liked the page.
Yeah, so thanks,
Welcome Alicia to the podcast by Alicia.
It's weird.
Nice.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny because at work, she's new Alicia and now I'm old Alicia. So this old thing, that old Alicia.
I am 32 going on 33. I feel pretty old.
You're only 32?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Oh, jeez.
Ooh, sick burn.
That hurts my feelings.
Burn.
Did you think I was older? Did you really think I was older?
I thought you were 30, which is not younger.
30 even?
Just 30.
You thought I was 30 even? No,
Yeah.
32.
I feel like everyone to me in my mind is 30 until like their next significant like birthday.
Which is
So like even if you're 39,
40?
I'm like, you're still 30 in my brain. I don't know. My brain's kind of weird.
You're so
like
kind.
It's 30 forever, Steve. 30,
geez.
flirty, and thriving.
And I recently have been feeling like so I've been making occasional videos on YouTube, right? Just because I just put myself out there in every possible way. I don't know. Anyway, but I'm like, I'm way too old for this like new YouTuber life. Like I
feel like to be a YouTuber now, you have to really, like, that has to be your entire existence.
Oh, man.
Is social media and YouTube, and that would be so exhausting.
Mm-hmm. It would be terrible.
Yeah.
Like, the guy that I really want to be for the way that he lives his sort of, like, YouTube video guy life is this dude named Sips. Like, I also would like to be...
sipping out of cups?
Yeah. I also would like to be him because he's super funny. and has like the coolest, most jovial Canadian voice in the whole world. Except he lives somewhere in Great Britain. But anyway, Jersey, that's where he lives.
Jersey.
But anyway, like the way he lives his life is like he posts on Twitter like a little bit and mostly about like him going to be streaming, and then he just like makes videos and streams at a normal regular hour, like this is my job, and then has a family and a wife and everything, and I'm like, that dude has it good. But Sips's career started because his homies, who are the Yogscast, he's part of the Yogscast, but the first two guys were like, they like blew up on YouTube for some reason. They did this Shadow of Israfel's Minecraft series, which is like where they play Minecraft, but then it starts becoming like a story, and there's like other characters, and they're like,
I think you told me about this before.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But anyway, so they blew up for that reason. Then they knew Sips from playing World of Warcraft, and Sips was like, I'd like to try doing this video thing. That seems like fun. So they had Sips on a few videos, and like their audience was just like, this guy's awesome. He's so hilarious. And he used to have this really crappy, like, just basic computer microphone that they called the toaster microphone. And his voice was just sounded terrible. And now he has a really nice microphone, of course, because it's his job. But anyway, it was really funny. So I don't have any super famous YouTuber friends that can just be like, hey, come try it out for a minute.
Shout out to all of our future super famous YouTuber friends.
That was almost a chord.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
This was really nice.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Friends. It's like, was it a minor? Friend. It was a minor. It was a minor third.
Look at that. We're doing it.
Minor third. Everybody.
The music theory.
I took one semester of AP music theory in high school.
What a nerd.
AP music theory.
Sometimes I really wish we had a soundboard just for like moments like that. I could just like hit the air horn like multiple times.
You don't think our voice sound effects are good?
But no, it would be our voices, but on a soundboard. So it'd just be me going like ner. I wouldn't say that. I would just like hit our little voice thing.
Speaking of John Bellion, do you know that song Low, right? Low, 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 low.
Maybe.
The last part trailed off really poorly. But anyway, John Bellion has this song called All Time Low. That's
All Time High.
No,
New Low.
I can't. I think it's just called Low.
Just get low. Get low.
Anyway, I can't remember now. But the way the chorus goes. When he plays it live, he plays it on a beat pad, so he just has samples of his voice that he's playing at different tones. And so, like, sometimes he'll do these solos with his voice going low on his beat pad. It's pretty cool. Huh. John Bellion is a really good producer. He's so good.
And he should produce our show. Just kidding. We couldn't get rid of you, Otto. That would just be sad.
He's a music... he writes beats and stuff. Otto, do you write beats?
Sometimes.
He says sometimes, if you didn't hear that. But wow, we really strayed from our question. Sorry, Alicia.
Woo! Good question. Moving on.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
So she asked us, the doctor shows up, and this is Doctor Who.
Right.
And
the Doctor.
The Doctor. Right. And I'm pretty sure you're familiar with Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Are you a Whovian?
No, here's the problem. I watched the first of the recent seasons, and that particular Doctor Who was like...
Not your favorite?
That Doctor was kind of lame, actually. And then, like, the special effects were really bad, and it was, like, very campy, and I was like, I don't know why people are so into this. And then I watched it another season... I think I watched until David Tennant became the Doctor.
Okay, I liked him.
What Doctor is he?
I really don't know. I'm not a Whovian. Sorry, people who are, and I'm gonna get hate mail for it. Sorry, Alicia. You asked this question.
Cola's gonna be so mad at us.
And she actually responded to it. Anyway, I should finish reading this question. We're really good at staying on track. The Doctor shows up on your doorstep in the TARDIS and says he'll take you to see one event in the past without changing it, even though things never really go that smoothly with the Doctor. what would you choose to see and why? And Cola was like, yes, duh. Like, she's obviously gonna, like, go. I don't know where she's going, but she's gonna go.
I think she really wanted us to answer this question because she's a big Doctor Who fan.
What event would I want to go see? That's a good question. This sounds kind of, like, morbid, maybe. Yeah, it's pretty morbid, but I would want to be, like, in the theater where Lincoln was shot.
Whoa!
Is that, like, weird? Like, I kind of want to go and see, like, that really interesting part of history, because if I can't change anything, like, I obviously want to go and see something.
If it's like an event, that's like one
that's
of the,
that's a crazy event that I would want to go see, because like a lot of events, they kind of happen over like a longer period of time, but that's just like one specific thing. It's just like, there it is, it happened, crazy.
Yeah, and it's hard to pick one that's not similar to that. Like, I can't think of any other events maybe like D-Day, but that what would I watch there?
I guess, and if you're in the I'm assuming, because in the TARDIS you go and you're kind of like part of the event, right? Yeah. So I would feel relatively safe because I'm not getting attacked. Lincoln's obviously gonna be killed, but nothing's gonna happen to me. But if it's D-Day, it's like you are in it. Like the Germans are on the beach with their machine guns and they are shooting at you and everyone's dying and it's dramatic, and I would
I mean, I love the feeling of like watching a really good speech for some reason. Like, that's really visceral for me, and a lot of times, like, at the high points, I'll, like, get goosebumps and get excited and stuff. And so, like, I think maybe being at, like, the I Have a Dream speech would be really cool. Like, just to be there and to see it. And, like, so there's this other YouTuber named, he goes by Nerd Writer, and he recently did a video about, and he basically just, like, writes essays about various different things. He did a video about like deconstructing the I Have a Dream speech, and there's like some sort of like hinting at Shakespearean references in there, and like all kinds of like very intentional wording. And I was like, man, I knew Dr. King was like smart, but I didn't know that like I don't know why I wouldn't think so, but like if you're a person who writes and gives speeches, like, you think about all the very, very specific details, and like it's just one of those things to me where, like, I guess in my mind, like, giving a speech is mostly about personality and your ability to like to effectively use the words, and not as much about the words themselves. But the Nerd Writer video made me go, man, that was a really well written speech. And so like Shakespeare is a really interesting thing in that category too, because with Shakespeare, like, it's written in a way where it's intended to be watched live and consumed in the moment, and not really intended to be deconstructed later.
Or like interpreted.
Yeah, but Shakespeare was such a genius. Like, everything has so many layers. Yeah. And so, like, I guess it'd be like the thing where you go back to the movies to watch it over and over again because you want to see the different layers. Like, you can do that in Shakespeare really well. So, yeah, it's one of those things where it just made me appreciate it more. And, like, I think given that perspective and the recentness of my perspective on it, I would be like, oh, I want to go back and see this speech. That'd be really cool.
That'd be cool. We picked pretty good things, I think.
Very American history kind of
Sorry
things.
I picked to see Lincoln get shot. That's not very patriotic of me.
Why would you want to see that event?
I don't know, because I think it'd be interesting to be... Because it was pretty dramatic, right? He shot him, and then he, like, jumped off the balcony and, like, broke his leg or something on the stage. Yeah. And everyone's freaking out. And, like... and I would, like, kind of, like, I'm, like, picturing in my mind's eye, like, I'm in the audience, I can, like, look up and see, like, oh my gosh, there's Abraham Lincoln up there,
Yeah.
Or, I don't know, it just seems like an interesting thing to be a part of.
Here's something really weird to think about.
Low danger factor, also.
Yeah. So, here I am, like, watching you talk and thinking about, like, Lincoln, right? And when I think of Lincoln, I mostly think of, like... do we have photographs of Lincoln or just paintings? I can't remember.
There's some photographs, and then you can actually see his death mask.
Oh, right.
In the Portrait Museum in Washington, D.C. There's a little DC fact for you.
Oh, guys, I'm really sorry. I'm having a lot of, digestional issues that might be coming out in the podcast
Steve
today.
is literally pooping all over the floor right now. It's disgusting.
No, I am not.
The smell is terrible. Oh, he's rolling in it. This is awful.
No, but so I was thinking about you. So, you're here talking and saying, man, it'd be so interesting to see. There'd be all this stuff happening. But I think of Lincoln as these sort of two-dimensional things.
Yeah.
Whereas I think of him as a picture, or I think of him as a painting, or just these sort of images of Lincoln,
Yeah.
but never just what if he was just sitting here?
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
That would be, it'd be so interesting to be like, there he is, he's right, I can look at him and see him move and scratch his nose or whatever, and yeah, it's just
what's crazy is the way that for some reason seeing somebody move or do their sort of natural thing really humanizes them for you, I don't know, if you saw just Obama getting ready for bed or whatever, that would be wait, you don't just hang out with little children in the Oval Office and go on vacation. It's just a regular person,
He brushes his teeth and puts on socks just like me.
He probably brushes his teeth more than me.
Probably.
Because I'm a one-a-day kind of toothbrusher, and some people are like, man, your teeth are gonna rot out. And I'm like, it doesn't feel like they're going to, but...
Also, it's a genetic thing, too.
Yeah.
Your teeth and how often you get cavities.
It's true. Man, that would be a really good tangent to go on.
Yeah.
Hey, it's your co-host, Steve, back at ya. I just want to interrupt, as always, in the middle of the show and say thank you so much for listening. You guys are the very best listeners. I'm just going to plow right through this middle section today because I have been in bed with a gross stomach thing all day, and I kind of just want to get back there. So I know that's not funny. It's sad, really. Believe me, if anybody knows, it's me. Anyway, just wanted to say thank you again. You guys are wonderful listeners. Just a couple things you could do for us if you want to help the podcast grow, if you enjoy it. You can always go on iTunes and leave us a rating and a review. That's one way that really helps out, especially if iTunes takes notice of the Plain Donuts podcast. That's one way that they'll decide, hey, this is something to feature, which would be awesome for us. The other thing you can do, as always, is to share the podcast with a friend. We put a lot of effort into it, and we try to book cool guests and, just have a good time. So if it's something you enjoy, we really only grow by you sharing it with your friends. And that's the best thing in the world when you do. So we really appreciate it. I feel like I'm kind of rambling and kind of doing some weird, sick voice or whatever. So I guess I'm going to end that here. Just again, thank you so much. You guys are great listeners. Feel free to give us feedback. You can always do so at yourplaindonuts.com. You can find any of our social media there, or you can actually leave feedback directly on the site if you want to, through Tumblr. So yeah, yourplaindonuts.com. That's YOUR plaindonuts.com. Hey, really appreciate it. Thanks again. Enjoy the rest of the show.
She asked another question.
Okay, Alicia asked a second question.
Alicia asked a second
question.
Come
on, Alicia, that's too many questions.
Just, what's one thing you can hope to see come to pass in your lifetime in politics, technology, society, etc.? My hope for my lifetime is Star Trek style food / object replicator. So I'm not going to dream too big here, but I think it's in Back to the Future when they had that thing where they had the little pizza and they put it in this machine and it made it a huge pizza. Mm-hmm. Or in what is it? Is a Disney Channel movie, Xenon?
Yeah.
Girl of the 21st Century.
Yeah.
She had like, it was like a food thing, and you could pick whatever you want. It would just like materialize in front of you.
That's what she said.
The food replicator. I just want that. I don't want any. I mean, we're already printing organs. You know, we're already having self-driving cars. Like, but we need to catch up on the food side over here.
Zetus Lapidus.
Yeah. Zoom, zoom, zoom.
So anyway.
Make my heart go boom, boom. My supernova girl.
Awesome.
Oh, it's a good song.
It's really good. I bet that song, if it came out today, would chart.
Oh, it would 100% chart, and I would download like that one and like the remix by Skrillex and the remix by like the other dude that Taylor Swift dated, whose name I can't remember right now.
We should. I forgot now that you said I can't remember his name.
Calvin Harris.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's hilarious. That's what you want is food stuff.
Food stuff.
I don't know. For me, okay, so I have two of these ideas. One, the thing that I think would be literally the best thing that humanity could come up with ever, would be faster than light travel. Like,
that'd be cool.
I think if we could come up with that, if we could figure that out somehow, like, I know that's like a really extreme. You know, if we could just figure out whatever it is we need to do to get faster than light travel.
You know, physics and jump that, forget all about that.
Yeah. just whatever, however we have to get past those hurdles.
Yeah. Well, I mean, NASA did just discover 7 planets, and then 3 of them are like in the habitual zone. Is that what it was called? The habitual zone?
I don't know.
Where it was like possible to have life.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so, the habitable zone.
Yeah, that's it. Habitual? Jeez. Alicia.
Habitable is a lot harder to say. It's got more,
habitable.
It's got more plosives in it. But anyway, yeah. So faster than light travel, I think, would be like really good for humanity, because then like that literally means that we could potentially like inhabit somewhere else and have some more resources that aren't depleting as quickly. Although then I think people would use that as an excuse to be like, whatever, I'm burning all the coal I can.
Yeah. So.
The other thing is teleportation, which I guess is like basically faster than light travel. But I don't think we need teleportation on a large scale. Like small scale teleportation would be really cool. But I figured once it
got Harry Potter style.
Not like really like bodily teleportation, although that'd be cool too. But like more like things. The thing that I think of the most. This is really ridiculous, and I've thought about this more thoroughly than I should have. But if we could come up with like teleportation where you have like a sender and a receiver or whatever, you could basically set a sender up in your toilet and a receiver up in the sewer, and like you wouldn't have to have any toilet pipes. I mean, God forbid that thing break down. But like,
you're thinking of something like so.
See, but then as the technology develops further, they would make it so that it could be more like smaller and organic, and then you could get one just in your intestines, like probably at the end of your intestines, because otherwise, I think if your like intestines weren't doing any work, your body would just be like, "What's going on?" and you'd get really sick.
Also, you need to have those nutrients, dog.
That's true. You would need those nutrients. But anyway, like basically, like at the end of your intestines, just have a little sender, and like then nobody would ever. Or you could have like if they're like, this is too weird, we can't have it sent straight. It's just,
can't have poop being sent to some weird poop.
You're like, okay, if we can't just have the poop sent from a body somewhere, like maybe that's too. Somebody legislated against it because it was too invasive or whatever. You could just pay somebody to have a sender put in their body, and then like so you could like pay somebody to be like, hey, I never want to have to poop again. Would you do this for me?
What?
And then
so crazy.
And then they would.
Oh my gosh. Although you know what I have heard, people that have like really severe like bowel and intestinal issues have to have poop transplants.
Well, yeah, it's actually like it's a for real treatment that is apparently for some things super effective.
Yeah, and it's super nasty, but you know what? If you need to save your life, I mean,
imagine if you were the surgeon. You're like, everybody hold your breath.
Just like get it out of a box. I don't know what they keep it in.
one of those frozen like the organ boxes.
Yeah,
they keep the
it's just
organ.
like on ice.
Yeah,
and it's like in one of those like frosting tubes, that they used to decorate
gross.
cakes. I mean, but logistically, they would have to have it in something like that to
squeeze
distribute
into.
it. Yeah. Oh, this is weird. Anyways, the future is now.
But if you know a surgeon who does poop transplants, hook us up.
So
we will interview them on the podcast. We will have them as a featured guest.
We will only ask questions about poop transplants exclusively.
Who wouldn't want to ask questions about poop transplants?
That's actually
is
kind
my
of interesting.
question.
I really want to know more. I want to know more.
Oh, more. Okay, we got to keep going.
Yeah.
We're like most of the way through this podcast right now.
Okay.
We have so many questions.
So Chris H asks, who is also a super awesome follower. Shout out.
What up?
What up? How about upcoming summer movies and your thoughts like Justice League, Alien Covenant, Ghost in the Shell, etc.? I'm guessing he's asking about our opinions about these upcoming movies.
Yeah.
Because we all know how I feel about Beauty and the Beast, Lumiere, all that stuff.
Oh, man, that was very throwing shade at Lumiere so hard.
I was throwing some serious shade at Lumiere because that French accent's terrible.
Okay, so I have a friend who works with a person named Sade. That's her name. And every time they say that, oh, Sade did this, my brain just goes, Sade!
Sade!
So it's pretty good.
That's funny.
Summer movies, I don't know. I really don't have much of an opinion about it. The Ghost in the Shell thing is a little weird for me because, I
can't get on board just because I watched the anime.
Yeah, I did too.
And I'm just like, why would you choose Scarlett Johansson? I understand picking a popular celebrity.
Yeah.
Because that's why you pick them, is because to sell the movie, essentially.
Right,
but it's there are so many other people that...
I don't know. I watched that one when I was 12 or 13 years old or something. So I don't know. When you're a kid that age, all I remember is that people were drawing boobs, and I was like, "Well, how does this? What? Why is there a whole show where they're just drawing out part? I don't get it. I didn't understand.
I bet that's why you remembered that show so well.
That's pretty much it was kind of formative for me because I discovered that there was a culture out there where people were sort of into drawing naked ladies in the Japanese style, and I just was
and he's never been the same since.
I'm no PewDiePie.
Oh,
I know. Even bringing up his name.
So controversial. We're such a controversial podcast.
So controversial today. No, I said that because PewDiePie actually likes anime and stuff. He's there's a bunch of anime that he does. It's just, I don't know if he's into hentai or whatever. Is that the porn thing?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if he's into that. I haven't asked. But
we have not.
Him and I haven't discussed it.
We haven't talked about this at length. So. Yeah.
Oh man, I bring in PewDiePie because that's just another celeb that we can tag on Twitter. So,
and we're probably gonna get a bunch of hate.
Speaking of, we have to talk about Oscars later, I guess.
Oh yeah. So we'll go into Cole's question, which will lead into that because.
Oh, good. All right.
She asked us, "What's your guilty pleasure TV show or movie, even if you don't feel guilty for watching it?"
Oh shoot! Lately, it's been Downton Abbey.
Yeah.
And
it's Are you hate watching it right now? Are you more regular
watching? We're in the very
watching?
last season, and we've been busy doing other things, so we kind of got distracted from our binge.
From your binge.
But it's not really a guilty thing. It's funny because a lot of people who don't watch Downton Abbey don't understand Downton Abbey, and so they're like, "Why? That seems really boring." And you're like,
"No, it's really dramatic. It's really." Really dramatic.
It's very intense. Yeah. And the writers are just so mean.
Yeah, they're so awful. And some of the characters are really awful. And they don't, they keep them around forever.
Yeah.
The bad characters never go away. And you're like, why?
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
And there's the Red Dinner. It's basically like Game of Thrones Red Wedding, but it's just very suddenly.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I might have said this last week or the week before, but that scene is, bar none, the craziest scene I've ever seen in a television show. Like, people say the Red Wedding from Game of Thrones is, like, super shocking, and I won't spoil it for you, but, like, and I won't spoil this scene either, but this scene in particular is, like, they're building around this other plot point that's been going on for a while, and these two sort of factions are, like, starting to argue about it over dinner. And, like basically they're building this heat, like, oh, no, my side's right. No, your side's right. And then one of the characters is like, can't we all just get along? And then something insane happens immediately. And you're like,
what?
This tension came to this?
Yeah.
Like,
it's like pretty mean, right? I think it's because the characters in general are like very like subdued compared to a lot of TV shows that we watch now. They're not outrageous. They don't do crazy, outrageous things. They're just kind of normal people living their rich person life. Yeah. You know, they're doing whatever. And so, it gets crazy.
It's a really good show.
It's good.
I don't really have any guilty pleasures. Like, I do feel a little bit guilty watching Game of Thrones when I run on my treadmill, because, like, there's a lot of, like, parts, like, body parts in that show. And, like, it's not my kink, but, like, like, it's just one of those things where I feel like, you know, if I told my pastor, oh, I've been watching Game of Thrones, he might be like, are you sure that's okay? Or whatever. Not my pastor. He would just be like, oh. But I feel like...
Hashtag not my pastor.
A pastorly type might be like, okay. Yeah. What about what? Job made a covenant with his eyes. You know.
You're like, well, I'm not him, so I decay.
I don't know. I'm not really like feeling all like hot about it. I'm really like sweating.
I'm really hot, but I'm just sweating a lot because I'm running.
My heart rate is elevated. This is sounding more sexual than I intended to. I just mean that, like, I'm moving a lot. That's not...
Anyway.
With my legs and arms.
Steve, no. Steve, stop.
I'm literally running. I'm literally running on a treadmill.
By himself. No. Anyways.
So anyway.
My guilty pleasure TV show. Good job, Steve.
Okay.
My guilty pleasure TV show is, and I was watching this recently. I love like stupid anime shows. Like I love it, and like Fooly Cooly was one that I was really into. But recently, Sailor Moon has just been added onto Hulu. Sorry, Hulu. All 200 episodes, and you better believe I have been sitting down after work and watching Sailor Moon with Otto and watching her use her Moon Tiara action and Moon Prism Power and finding the Sailor Scouts, and it's good. It's good stuff. It's
you know, I have an easier time believing that than I do believing that there are 200 Sailor Moon episodes.
There are 200 Sailor Moon episodes because you gotta go through Sailor Moon, Sailor Moon S, Sailor Moon, like Crystal something. There's like several different things, but it's good. It's good stuff. You gotta introduce Chibi Moon. You gotta get like the Sailor Saturn like section going on.
Do you remember that time where I was like talking about different programming languages and how I had to learn to like manually assign memory to things, and then you were like, I don't know. Wow, Steve. This is how I feel about you talking about Sailor Moon. I'm like, Sailor what?
Sailor what? Sailor Venus, Sailor Jupiter, Sailor Mercury, Sailor... There's like a song. That's the English version, though, and I'm watching like the sub version, which is pros and cons. There's more episodes, so...
Great.
Anyways.
Wow, so you like video games and anime?
I'm such a nerd. Huh.
Otto's just shaking his head at me. Otto recently befriended a celebrity on Facebook.
He's probably talking to him right now.
He's like Twitter pated.
Yeah.
We won't mention any more about this.
Face, yeah.
But he's pretty stoked about it. Yeah. To be fair, I would be too. Man. And that celebrity seems like a nice guy.
Seems like a nice guy.
So anyway, do we have more questions on that?
Not on the plain notes. But...
Okay, so I had one question on Twitter I thought we should get to because we never get questions on Twitter. So my friend Aldo, he's a dude I work with actually. He's super cool. We should have him on sometime because he's like done all kinds of different stuff, including many podcasts. But anyway, he said, I'm on a Facebook break right now. We're currently seeing other social networks. Do you ever feel like social media is overwhelming? Honestly, no.
Really?
The thing is people are like, I need a social media break, right? And they tend to be pretty dramatic about it. And Aldo has not been. He didn't even mention it until we were like, I haven't seen you on Facebook. And he's like, yeah, I kind of quit that for right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't invest that much emotion into it usually. Like sometimes I will get in arguments and my wife
Steve
will be like,
was on a super awesome vaccine.
Oh jeez. It used to be worse when I would like go argue theology with people on Facebook, like, and it's always been pretty toxic, but like that kind of conversation is real toxic with strangers on the internet.
Gee, why would you do that to yourself?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I did that to myself, and it was really terrible.
Yeah, even like, I mean, with all like the political climate that's been and like still continues, I feel like, I don't know, social media, if I am getting overwhelmed by it, I just kind of like, I'll just turn that off right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty easy to disengage, I think. And it's not like how it was like in the earlier 2000s, because people would be pretty, and I think people sometimes still do this too, like, I'm taking a Facebook break, like, don't expect to contact me on Facebook, and it's like, why are you doing, and then like, I literally saw you like something like 10 minutes later, like, when does your Facebook like, when are you stopping? Like, you said you're stopping.
You know what's crazy is you say stuff like that on Facebook, and then a bunch of people are like, oh, we'll miss you.
Yeah.
And, like, they, like, leave their little sad face response or whatever.
Weird.
And then, so you say that, and then they're like, oh, please don't leave. And you're like, oh, well, I guess maybe I won't then. Yeah. I said I would, but now people like me.
Yeah.
So.
I think usually when someone does something like that, I'm like, all right, you're leaving, so I'm going to unfollow you now because you're obviously leaving. So I don't need to follow you anymore. Yeah. Jeez.
Okay, do you want to... I have, like, so many questions. I don't know...
How far are we in right now? I feel like we've been...
Time-wise?
Yeah, I feel like
we are about 50 minutes in.
Oh, gosh. Okay. We can actually probably split some of these questions for next week.
Yeah, we probably should, honestly, because... I mean, we can answer a few more, but like we just have had so many people. It's because like I immediately just tagged a whole bunch of my friends when I asked the question, because I was like, somebody ask us questions. We won't have content otherwise.
Okay. So. Why don't we talk about the Oscars, because that just happened yesterday. Yeah. So that's like the most relevant. And we can save the other. We'll save you. We promise we'll get to your questions later, you guys.
Man, and there are some really deep questions. One from, in fact, my friend Lindsay, like, I don't think she's ever listened to the podcast probably, or just passively was like, oh, whatever, it's a podcast, it's another one. I think she listens to a lot of stuff regularly, but she asked some really interesting questions, and I was like,
I told Steve, like, I don't really feel comfortable talking about this, just because I feel like we try and keep our podcast like super inclusive with a lot of things. Yeah. So, and I feel like that would be like a little bit alienating.
Oh, for us to talk about specifically about like my Christianity
and like religion and like all that stuff. And there are 2 dogs in here right now.
They just came in.
That's really exciting. But
Alicia's crying now.
I'm so cute. I told you that story about when I saw 2 dogs at the Chick-fil-A drive-thru and I was weeping.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, Otto wasn't here when you told that story.
Exaggerate. Otto can testify. He's getting dog kisses. I'm jealous.
Do you think if you saw our dogs in the drive-thru, you would cry?
I would probably get really, really excited. Oh, it's Steve and Melissa's dogs!
What if they were stranger dogs?
It depends on what the dogs are doing.
Oh,
like, if the dogs are doing something that's, like, obviously really cute, like where they have both of their paws up on the steering wheel and looks like they're driving, then that would probably make me a little weepy. Just a little bit.
What if they were, like, putting their noses on each other.
Oh, I would just tears. Waterfall, waterworks. It would just be too much.
So Melissa, this one time, I think. Okay, so Melissa's my wife. I think I have mentioned that on the podcast a bazillion times. But anyway, one time I used to go to church really early to practice because the band at the time, like, I still do, but Melissa can come later now. But at the time, she had to like come with me because we had one car, and the option was either like come with me and wait, or don't come at all.
Yeah.
And so like she was waiting in the car one time. We used to meet in this theater, and I came out, and she's like, "So I saw this mom duck." And she was like leading a bunch of baby ducks across the parking lot.
That's really cute.
And they got to this median, and they all hopped up on the median, except this one duck couldn't get up on the median. And so the mom like walked back and was like encouraging this baby duck to get up on the median, and it was like this drama. And then like what happened, Melissa? Finished. I can't remember the end of the story. Oh, the mom had to get down, and like they walked around because the baby duck wouldn't get up on the median edge. So she told me this, and I was like, "That didn't happen. Like, no way did this storybook thing happen to you just sitting in a parking lot."
That's so cute.
So she was pretty excited.
Yeah,
about it.
there was another instance too, and Otto can also testify to this. But I was driving back from his apartment or something late at night, and he was living in this area of Ogden where it was kind of like by the like river and like foresty areas. So there's like lots of wildlife, and there were so I'm driving in my car, and we drive past this raccoon and a baby raccoon. They're in the middle of the road, and I'm like, oh, like I'm gonna like hit this baby raccoon and this mom raccoon, and I see, and you know, like how when you're like something is about to happen, everything's like slow motion, right? Mm-hmm. So I like jerk, I really jerk the cart, and I kind of skid to like avoid. I will kill myself before I kill this family of raccoons.
Oh jeez.
And like the mom raccoon like reaches out slowly to grab the baby and like pulls it close to its like chest, and I was like, no. And I missed the raccoon and the baby raccoon, but I was really distraught because I almost murdered this family, and so I called Otto, and I was crying because I didn't even hurt anybody, but I was so upset seeing the mom raccoon reach out and like try and protect its baby. Geez. I was like, I can't believe I almost murdered this beautiful raccoon family, and
yeah.
It was rough.
Okay, so speaking of Raccoon Family, this actually gets us kind of into the Oscars, which apparently we have to discuss. Zootopia beat out Moana.
Yeah.
And our boy Lin-Manuel didn't get his EGOT.
He didn't EGOT, but you know what?
He would have been a PGOT. Because he got a Pulitzer for Hamilton. I didn't even know that. When you go to his Wikipedia page, you literally have to click on, like, go to his awards, because he has so many awards. Yeah. It has to be on its separate Most
Wikipedia
of them are Tonys.
A page. So I'm like, oh, Lin-Manuel.
He needs that. He needs the O.
He needs the O.
He's got an Emmy he actually got an Emmy for writing the words, the music and lyrics for an award show.
Yeah. It was like the 60th Emmy Award, or no, 60th
I can't remember.
Golden Globes or something like that.
But he got an Emmy for it.
I was like, are you kidding me? And so he got an Emmy for that. He obviously has his Tony from Hamilton.
Yeah.
What's the other one?
Oscar he doesn't have.
Grammy. He has a Grammy.
Yeah. He got a Grammy for, what was it?
I don't remember.
Oh, the recordings of Hamilton.
Yeah.
And In the Heights.
Is that even fair? Like, it makes me kind of wonder. It's like, well, I guess it's kind of similar to like the Golden Globes and the Oscars. Yeah. Like, they kind of overlap a little bit. So even though they're like essentially the same thing, but I think the Golden Globes are more like journalistic, like it's more of like a relaxed, like campy, fun atmosphere.
Yeah. Well,
and the Oscars are more like dramatic and like
dress
fancy.
Dressy uppy.
Dressy uppy. They're fancy folk.
They're for people who like to dress up nice. Wear some bow ties and
those celebrities.
Maybe some really nice belts and I don't know how these things work.
Oh man.
So so Moana lost as Best Animated Film to Zootopia. So Lin-Manuel wasn't nominated for that, but he was nominated for Best Song.
Original Song, which lost out to La La Land. And I can understand why it would be popular, because it's like a musical movie, and, you know, the people are attractive, and you, like, feel for them.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I need more drama.
My girl Emma Stone. Was it Emma Stone? She won for Best Actress.
I like Emma Stone. Ryan Gosling, I don't... He's an attractive person. I get that. But his face... he has the same expression for everything. Like, I don't think
he kind of does.
He's not like a very expressive actor, and not that like that equates to being a bad actor.
Yeah.
But like when you look at Viola Davis, who won Best Supporting Actress, she's like very for Fences. She's like very expressive, you know, like very emotive, and Ryan Gosling is like the opposite end of the spectrum. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't really understand why you would win anything. So
here's another thing about the Oscars. I thought Janelle Monáe's dress was super cool, but aside from that, I didn't realize that was it Janelle Monáe that was in Hidden Figures? I think she was. I think she was one of the characters, and I didn't know that because I know her as a singer and not an actress. Yeah. So I just was like, who's this young lady?
I feel like Hidden Figures had that a lot, or I think the Oscars in general had that a lot, because John Legend was in La La Land, and he is typically, he is the musician. That was a really hard word for me to remember, Steve, was musician.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so he's a musician, and there was, like, a couple other people. I mean, like, everything's kind of crossing over now.
Yeah.
Like, if you're like an actor, you have to also do this, and you have to also do like this other thing.
It's just so weird to me, because like the reason I know about Janelle Monáe is because of Fun, the band Fun, because she did a song with them. I can't even remember what the song was called now, off the top of my head, which is annoying because one of my like favorite songwriters is the lead singer of that band and was also the lead singer of The Format. Anyway, so she did a song with them, and I was like, oh, cool, Janelle Monáe, I'm going to check out some of her other music. And I did. And so she's been, like, moderately famous for music for a while. And then, like, people were talking all about Janelle Monáe at the Oscars, and I was like, Janelle Monáe? Why is she so famous at the Oscars? Apparently because she was in a movie that I saw and really liked and did not even realize it was Janelle Monáe the whole time.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so she's a cool lady. Yeah, there was, that crazy thing that happened at the end. Did you see that, like, somebody was like, I don't know which came first or if they even worked off of each other, but somebody was like, man, it's crazy how M. Night Shyamalan directed the end of that. And then
he, like, actually did a tweet about it, right?
Like, I directed the end of the Oscars last night. We got him, Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah. And I was like,
what? Yeah, like, that was... Out of everything, that was like the craziest interaction.
Yeah. I really love M. Night Shyamalan, actually, and I've liked most of his movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, even the ones that people don't like.
Do you like The Village?
That's not my favorite.
Yeah, okay.
And actually, I remember watching it and not feeling very much about it. People really hate The Village, but I don't care about it. The other one that I didn't really care that much about was the one with the trees. Like you probably didn't do very well. It was in M. Night Shyamalan's very long slump between
like Avatar and
why did he do Avatar?
What was the other one where the people were like jumping off of buildings and things? The Happening?
Oh, The Happening. Yeah. The Happening was the one with the trees.
Oh, that was the one? Yeah.
Because the trees were like they were like
wasn't it like poisoning? Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, but I've always liked M. Night Shyamalan a lot, actually. And the thing is people thought that he was like a scary mystery horror director and writer after The Sixth Sense. They're like, that's this is what M. Night Shyamalan does.
Yeah.
And then he comes out with all this stuff that's kind of like weird and kooky and really whimsical. And it's like, oh no. See, M. Night Shyamalan makes fantasy movies. Yeah. And you just...
Because he made Lady in the Water. And I like that one, actually.
I like that one a lot.
So, yeah. No, don't hate him too much. He's just kind of in a... He's kind of an up and down type of guy.
Well, apparently, the one that he just released is really good. People really like that one. But anyway, Shyamalan, man. What else?
People. I'm trying to think of like the winners. La La Land took a bunch of things.
Yeah.
I'm
glad Emma Stone finally won her Academy Award for Best Actress because she should have got it for Easy A.
Yeah. I was going to say Birdman, but Easy A, sure, yeah.
I feel bad, though, because, like, I think of, like, young actresses that are winning, like, Best Actress. So Emma Stone and then Jennifer... Lawrence, yeah. Mm-hmm. Remember that one, journalist who was like, do you think you peaked too young? And she's like, I hope not.
Yeah. What a weird question to ask someone.
What a rude question. Yeah. Seriously. But, like, I kind of wonder if there's, like, once you hit that point, if you find less motivation to do more, or I guess that depends on what your motivation was to start with, right?
If you're making a bunch of cash, then you're set.
Well, and if that's the goal to make money, like the thing is you make $10 million on a film, and you could live on that for literally your whole life if you do it modestly. It's just one of those things where it's like, at a certain point, the money doesn't mean that much. And if you're acting to get a Best Actress award, if that's like the goal to be the best at something at least once, then you hit that and you're like, what's next? Yeah. But so I guess I would wonder, like, if your motivation is to like it's because you love doing that work and you feel like there's things to say in film and stuff, I think that's an interesting reason to continue doing it. But I wonder if some people like hit that peak and then they're like, I don't really have as much motivation anymore. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not an actor. I do have a couple of friends. I did major in drama in high school. So I have a couple of friends that are actors now. But
what else? Oh yeah, Chrissy Teigen fell asleep.
Apparently. Yeah. That's okay. I don't care.
No, yeah, she's tired.
She's a lady.
Yeah, like, she got a newborn kid. She's tired.
There's like certain people will like lash out at celebrities for like the stupidest stuff, right? And to me, I just go, yeah, they're people, you know, like, unless it's like when Britney Spears had her big meltdown, I was kind of like, oh, that sucks. I think she's probably not okay. Like, she needs some help.
Yeah, I think it was similar with what Kanye West recently. He had like a crazy, and he was like, he actually had to go to the hospital for a while.
He had to be institutionalized.
So it's I think
a couple days.
Yeah,
anyway.
It's like people just, like mental health, I think is becoming more of a like important topic. Yeah. But I think it's still kind of interesting how we treat celebrities. Like they're entertainment machines, and they just keep popping out entertainment. If they ever have a blemish or anything wrong with them, they're just completely crazy.
Right. Well, the problem is that we don't have a good way of conceptualizing, especially celebrities, as people with depth and wrinkles and that kind of stuff. So we end up envisioning them as caricatures of themselves. Kanye is the perfect example of that, because people think of him as like this a-hole who's always saying brash, ridiculous things, who is basically dismissible because of those things. And it's like, well, like old Kanye wasn't like that. Yeah. So like what's happened, what's happened since the days of graduation or whatever, So I don't know, like it's one of those things. So when people are like, Chrissy Teigen fell asleep, that's crazy. I'm like, oh, it's crazy that she's a human and like was bored and fell asleep. Yeah. I almost fell asleep in a theater the other day,
Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of, it's bizarre. And like, I don't really understand, because I consume lots of entertainment news, but when it comes to like paparazzi stuff and like, look at what this person looks like on the beach on vacation, it's like, leave them alone, please just like, stop. I don't want to just leave. I don't know, maybe I just I wouldn't want privacy, and I'm sure they, as a celebrity, would want privacy eventually somewhere. So
I think we should actually try to answer Cola's real question. Oh, the one where she said
about
I pulled a
Casey
Steve.
Affleck.
Yeah,
and to be honest, I don't really know too much about it.
I do know a little bit about the Casey Affleck story.
I think it's.
Is it? It was on your post, right?
I think so, but he was. From what I remember, her question was about, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but he was charged with assault.
Kind of, yeah.
And so, something about that, I couldn't really tell you too much. And then he was not convicted, or he was convicted? I can't remember what happened.
No, what happened, according to Cola, and I don't know where the post went.
Let's see if I can find it.
Sorry, I was just looking for it, and I cannot find it because I'm blind. I think it was on your page. She might have deleted the comment or something. Because she said she asked a Steve question and it had all these layers.
Yeah.
So basically the question is, so Casey Affleck won Best Actor.
Yeah.
Which to me, I'm like, you know, everything I've seen him in, he's been a good actor. But he was previously accused of, I don't think explicitly rape. I think like sexual assault. And like basically he was filming. It was when he was filming, what is his name? The one actor that played Johnny Cash, Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh, yeah.
He was filming Joaquin Phoenix for that weird, like fake social experiment kind of film they did.
I don't really know anything with Casey Affleck, so that's kind of hard for me to think about.
So Casey Affleck was like direct. Do you remember when Joaquin Phoenix did that appearance on Letterman or whatever, and just acted like super high and ridiculous?
I do remember that. Yeah.
So that was part of.
That was like part of it.
Yeah, it was sort of like a weird social experiment, like low budget kind of thing that they were just trying to do as some kind of weird art. I don't really understand it, right? But apparently this girl was like working as some kind of assistant or DP or something. I don't really know. But accused them, Casey in particular, of being like sexually aggressive toward her, and apparently they ended up settling out of court, right? So he was never tried or convicted or anything like that, but was definitely accused, and apparently like in the moment didn't really think anything of it, and she thought more of it than he did, or you know, it's really hard water to tread when you're talking about like people who have power over other people. Yeah. And
well, what's the situation I have with Kesha?
Yeah.
Right? And I think he actually was convicted, her producer or whatever. Yeah,
but she's contracted to like continue to work with him.
It was something like really terrible. And I think he was tried and found like
I don't think so, but basically she said that I think that he raped her, that he sexually assaulted her, which roughly are the same thing. Culturally are the same thing. But anyway, like with that one in particular, Kesha basically went to court to say, I had these experiences, whether or not they're legally substantiated. I don't want to have to be in my contract to continue making songs with this person. Yeah. And she did not win that legal battle, and so like a bunch of people were like, I can't believe they're gonna force her.
Okay, and I think, but it was like settled out of court probably. I feel like it was something recent. Maybe I'm wrong, but it sounds like a similar thing where someone who is like in a position of like authority. Yeah. Has...
And so the other thing with the Casey Affleck situation is that we don't, like, as far as I know, there's not a whole lot from the Casey Affleck side about it. I don't think anybody's really ever said anything about it. And the thing is, with legal stuff like that, especially when you're settling out of court, there's usually like caveats to it. Like you can't talk about it in certain ways, or your lawyer's like, don't talk about it in certain ways, or it'll go badly for you or whatever. And so usually they just don't say anything about it. In this case, like, her question was really about like, should it matter that, like, people are always talking about who did she say? Woody Allen?
Woody Allen, yeah. And he's been kind of like notoriously known as like the person in Hollywood who is like really awful to women and things like that, and probably has done some stuff. I don't really 100% know everything.
So but she was saying like people celebrate these people and like say that their art is still good even though they might be bad people. Yeah. Well, and like here's a weird historical example. Picasso was a notorious womanizer. Yeah. Like, just not a nice person when it comes to women. And he was,
like, a really controlling, crazy person. Yeah. Like, so it wasn't, like, he was a womanizer, but he was also kind of, like, an abusive person. Yeah. So, I see what she's asking. I don't know. That's kind of a tough question. Right. Because, I mean...
Should we celebrate this person's ability even though they might not be a great person? Yeah. I would say, like, you know, stuff gets really complicated when you talk about, like, fame and celebrity. A lot of stuff that sounds worse than it is happens. Like, you say, oh, somebody sued somebody or accused somebody for something, and if you heard them tell the story, it's like, oh, this was not what happened. But in these cases, like, sometimes they just can't really talk about it. Yeah. So it's really hard because, like, you know...
Maybe Bill Cosby is a good example of this. Because I feel like now I can't even watch anything with him in it because it's just too
Well, part of Cosby's problem is that his whole shtick was... wholesome dad. Yeah. You know, and so like...
So it's kind of like such an opposite side
it's such a cognitive dissonance to watch him go, I went to the dentist and he put the stuff on, blah, 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 and you're just like, you know, with the weird voices and you're like, that dude was slipping girls medicine to make him fall asleep so he could do bad things. To, you know,
it's like weird. Yeah. Yeah, so...
But it's... I mean, I don't mean to skirt around the issue. Yeah. I don't know what to say about it.
Yeah, like, I don't really know either, to be honest.
Part of me is like, if he, like, raped somebody, or if he sexually assaulted someone, like, why is there a contingency that he could settle on that out of court, right? And maybe it's just, a lot of times it's like somebody sues you for something that you is, like, outside of the... statute of limitations or something like that, right? And so you settle out of court because it's a suit instead of like a prosecution. Yeah. But I'm like, I don't know if I don't understand. Like, why couldn't he be convicted for that kind of thing? And isn't that what you would want if he was a predator? But then again, like, I don't understand the mind of the victim either, right? And maybe they're like, I just don't want to go through this legal battle or whatever.
Which I guess I've heard, not from anyone, but like, I've heard that sometimes it can be more traumatizing for a victim to try and pursue this because a lot of times, you know, people want to say, you know, like you're lying or whatever, you're drunk, something stupid, you know, right? So, I don't know, there's like that layer on top of it too, like the victim blaming layer. Right. And like a layer of, you know, too famous people layer, like what does that look like, and they're rich layer, and it's just
and to be fair, like neither of us at this point in our lives know anything about that level of fame and that level of wealth. And even then, at that time, like, it wasn't that huge of, like, compared to some people. Casey Affleck wasn't that big of a deal. He had done some things, but he never won an Oscar for Best Actor or anything, you know? And so, like, I don't know. The question is when the Academy awards somebody an Oscar, are they awarding them the Oscar, celebrating them as a person or their performance in that piece? Ostensibly, it's the performance in the piece is what's being awarded. And they're not saying this person is a good person, just that they did a good job acting in that piece. You know what I mean? And you can disagree if you want. And like, I don't know, like, our society has ways of handling people that break the law, and that's by sending them to jail. We don't necessarily need to also punish them by not allowing them to be, like, told they did a good job when they did a good job. But I'm a very, like, second chancey kind of person. Like, well, you know, I don't know. I kind of commend the community for bringing Chris Brown back into the fold a little bit. At the same time, I know that like that kind of behavior, like abusive behavior, is very often doesn't stop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so at the same time, when people are like, "I love this Chris Brown jam," I'm like, I don't know if I'd like to know his mindset. I'd like to know where he's at in his head. Does he still hit women? You know,
I don't know. It's so it's hard. Just because it's like, you know, a lot of times people like that aren't exactly convicted to the level that they should be.
Yeah.
You know, like, who knows if he did do something to someone and he never got convicted. Like, I would definitely have a problem seeing, like, oh, this guy is going out in society and he's just doing, you know, he's whatever. He's winning Oscars while his victims are, like, living, like, this really terrible, like, life and they can't really change. So I don't know, like, I don't. It's one of those things where I'm glad that I don't have to make a decision because I can't make a decision, and I'm not in a place really to like make that call. So
I don't
know. I guess in the end, to answer Cole's question, like, do and feel however you feel is going to be like the most emotionally healthy for yourself.
Yeah.
In that. Because if you don't want to see Casey Affleck, then just you're cool to just scrub him out of your life and think he's a bad person, and that's cool because
I don't think there's really any requirement for you to watch his movies.
Yeah.
Cola in particular. I mean, if you're like a film critic or something and that's part of your job, sorry you have a platform a little bit so you can talk about that on your platform if you want, but like I don't know, it's just one of those things. I understand that it's not like a regular job, and when we celebrate that kind of thing, it's sort of like a cultural celebration as opposed to just like, I didn't just get an award for my programming job at work, right? It's like you got an award because he's a cultural influencer to some degree, and should our culture be celebrating that kind of person? I don't know. Should we go back through history and see if we can find moral failings for all of the previous art that we've celebrated? And if we can, should we erase it?
Yeah.
I don't know. That seems a little ridiculous. Like, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. It's like trying to separate and like a part of this person from like their whole person.
Yeah.
And it's like impossible to do that. And I don't know. I'm glad I'm not the one to make the decisions because the decisions are hard, and I don't.
And like the thing is I don't know. I wouldn't want to be forever judged on my worst moment, you know, like because
unless I like murdered a child, then maybe.
Well, yeah, like some of that stuff can be a stain forever, but like when I was 12, there was a duck that was at the dump stuck in some grime, like, and it didn't look like it could swim away. And like there were a bunch of boys around me. We were all there for scouts for some reason at the dump, but they were like, "Steve, throw this rock at that duck," and they like all pressured me. I feel like I don't know. I was 12. I don't know. They all pressured me into doing it, and so I threw this rock at this duck, and I think I killed it. And like I felt so bad. I like cried, and I told my scout leader that I did it, and like all this stuff. The thing is, I don't want to be 32 years old and walk into a job interview. Not that I'm not looking for other jobs, but whatever. Walk into if I had to walk into a job interview, and they go, "Oh,
hi, my name's Steve. I threw a rock at a duck when I was 12, and I killed it, and it's with me forever."
Yeah, I don't want to walk in there and they go, "Oh, this duck killer, he can't get this job," you know, like I just but like I said, I'm a very second chancey sort of person. Yeah. Anyway, we should end it. This
is a really great comedy.
Really good comedy. Hilarious today.
So funny.
Starts out with racism and ends with rape. Okay.
All right. We're in the R's today, so this is controversial.
This podcast has been brought to you by the letter R. Oh boy. Okay, well anyway, this has been Plain Donuts. I hope you really loved it.
Leave us feedback and be nice, I guess, or not. I can't tell you what to do.
Okay, bye.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.